you get it? Is it on?
All right, and welcome to another episode of Taking Over the World with Ed and Aaron. What's up, buddy?
I'm just trying not to get it messed up today. Hey, what is good? I'm living. I'm living, buddy. How are you?
You're living?
Living.
I would
Living the
hope you're
dream.
living.
Living the dream, double M style.
How are the kids back to school?
Hey, listen. 1 week up, 1 week down. So far, so good. We got a big day today. We got some tryouts going on. We got a flag football tryouts today for both of them.
Brooklyn?
Luckily, they're not on the same team. They do have a girls and a boys team because I would be concerned that Brooklyn would take Braxton's spot on the team.
Wow.
She's gangster.
Well, we've already established that.
Yeah.
And she wants to play rugby.
She said she asked about it the other day too. I said, "Oh,
I told you I was gonna look for a
I said
place."
Ed found a thing for Nevada Youth Rugby.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
I was looking out for my girl. Told you. Hashtag girl dad. You know, I told you I was gonna find it for her.
Hashtag rugby life.
I think.
Hashtag no more room on your arm for tattoos, bro. What's going on?
Look at this. There's plenty of room on the inside.
I thought you'd probably come back from Mega Camp, stop by Johnny's office, and get a quick sesh before you jump back in.
No, but he does have a sesh, but I'm going to be in Miami.
Yeah, sure you are. No, I'm not sure.
No,
Yeah, now I'm not sure I believe you anymore because last time you tried to pull it off.
That I was having a mental health thing.
Yeah,
It was. It helped me mentally recharge.
Okay.
Getting the second half of the tattoo.
Nice.
But I have to let this heal because this one.
Yeah, that's what you said last time, but
Look, this one took a little more shading than the first one.
All right. Hey, listen, you just got back from Texas.
Yes, I did.
How was it? What did we learn? What is going on? What is going on that we need to know about today? Anything?
What is going on? So for some agents, so we were at Mega Camp, which is a Keller Williams event. It's called the Mega Agent Camp. It's for agents to go and kind of get a mid-year kind of update on what's going on and how we stay on track to do what we want to do, right? And to do the business we want to do. So we went, and it was interesting because you would think that with all of the new changes that actually officially became on the 17th with
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. All the new changes that are actually a settlement, not a law.
Oh, it's not a law.
No, it is not a law.
But everybody says it's the new laws.
It's not a law. It's a settlement. It was. If not, we'd all be on some form of probation.
Right.
If it was a law, we broke the law. We were not breaking the law. It was just an agreement that was reached to settle what some people perceived to be commission problems or whatever, and not fully disclosed to everybody. But listening to all of the agents that were there on the main stages and some of the breakout sessions that I went to, it basically works out to just do business as usual. Like, talk to your clients, tell them what the truth is, be honest. So for us, it's not anything different than what we've done. It's fully disclosed what they're making, what you're making. I think a lot of people got in trouble because people who were trying to secure buyers would tell buyers, "Hey, I work for free because you don't pay me." And in all actuality, you're getting paid. It's by the seller, and it's being financed into the loan. It's not like the seller's paying you out of their proceeds. They're paying you by the prices of the house. So you're still getting paid.
Well, and I think that's the biggest problem that we've seen in the industry, and now I think people are going to double down on it. Dumb agents are going to double down right now and become just dumber. No apologies. But you know what I mean? Like, there's agents that have always been uneducated. They come in and they give the industry a bad name. Just like any industry. You go to car sales, bank tellers, whatever. Doesn't matter. Hair salons, servers. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody that doesn't want to be there. They're half in. They're half-assing it, and they give that industry a bad name. And I think in our industry, when you start dealing with people's biggest assets, you start dealing with, the commissions that go along with that, is that there's some dumb and bad agents out there, hands down. And I think that they've haven't been they've said things like that before where they haven't disclosed the truth. They haven't been honest. You can't tell somebody you work for free when you don't. You're getting paid like like right? Like and now you got these agents that are coming out and saying, "Well, now that laws have changed." And like you said, the laws didn't change. There was a settlement. There wasn't, and now you got people that are double down like, well, I'm gonna continue to do it my way because I've been doing this for 30 years and it's always worked. Okay, well, now you're gonna be in trouble. Like
Right.
I hope you're ready to bust out the checkbook because you got fines coming. You may lose your license because they don't want to accept the fact that the ways of real estate have changed a little bit. And by that I mean like the way that you like you said the business aspect of it, the transactional part of it is still relatively the same,
Yeah.
right? But now there are a couple more pieces of paper that you need to get completed. You do need to make sure that you're being over transparent in our opinion, which is so for us, like you say, business, we're always transparent. We don't hide anything. We tell people straight up what it's going to be and how we do it. And now I think you're going to see people that are going to get called out too because they don't have any value.
Right. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that I heard by going to this event was everybody was saying now agents that show their value and show why you're getting paid to do what you do are going to be extremely important in this business because there's going to be a bunch of them that can't show value.
Right.
Or they don't know how to show value.
And so their response is going to be, well, I'll do it for this flat fee that's ridiculous, right? Like we were talking about earlier today. You go,
Right.
I love drawing conclusions like to the law industry, right? Like
Right.
not saying that we're lawyers, but we do contract negotiation. There's some stuff going on
Right.
there. But at the end of the day, if I am sitting in a courtroom, one, I've apparently I've made some bad decisions. Okay, yes, because we're sitting
And you're about to go to jail.
and I'm like, they're like, listen, bro, here's the deal. You're on trial, and it's hypothetically, I mean, this is a friend of mine. We're gonna call him a friend, okay?
Okay, there you
right?
go.
And now you got three options. Judges like, listen, in order to proceed with this case, you can represent yourself,
Which is not a good idea.
but people do it,
Right?
just like in real estate. We have a discount attorney hanging out in the hall that will try your case in front of the judge for $199. Right.
All right.
Right. So you got your discount route, right? Or, there's an attorney that you can call, and he's going to cost $5,000 to do it. Here's his track record. Here's his resume. Here's the value that he brings. Go ahead. Your choice. Like, who are you going to go with? Right? Like you have to have value. And I think that's where some of these agents now, the ones that are quick to discount what they charge or go to these ridiculously low flat fees, I think they're concerned that they bring no value. And so therefore they're discounting the value to be paid. Like we offer services and we know what we can get with those services. We have proven systems. We know how to get people more for their property. We know how to sell them quickly. We know how to negotiate and get buyers a good deal. So when you hire us at a fee, it's to provide you a value that is going to be beneficial to you in the long run. And these people that are going the opposite way, hiring a discount lawyer in the courtroom or, defending themselves, hey, it may work out. Just like selling your house could work out.
Right.
Discount real estate agent could work out. Not saying that it won't, right? But when it push comes to shove, I'm sitting in front of a judge and listen, this ain't built for jail, bro. Like I don't got Johnny Tahiti tattoos. Like I'd have to have like a 30-day notice and I have to get like full tatted, and work out aggressively before.
Well, aren't you working out aggressively now?
Well, I'm pretty good, but not as.
What's pretty
Yikes.
good? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, I would say I'm in a tough spot between deciding if I want to be disciplined and get results or if I would just like to creatively avoid the situation.
Okay.
Like most of us, like most people go to work, right?
Okay, so that's the same as in business.
Right.
Do you want to be creative and have creative avoidance, or do you want to be disciplined and succeed?
And that's the wild part is that people start to, and like we were talking about before, like I can rationalize not going to the gym every day. Like the kids get up at this time. I've got to I got to get my rest, and I got to help get ready. Then I got ready for work, and I got to go over here. Then I got a meeting, and then like you could rationalize all that crap all day.
Right.
All you're doing is making excuses. Like, and we trick our minds into thinking we're busy.
Right.
What'd you do today? Oh man, I was busy. I didn't. What did you do today? I was busy. Like that doesn't answer the question. But when you start looking and tracking your time and looking at it, you realize how undisciplined you are with your time.
So I take it you're being undisciplined with your time going to the gym.
I've been pretty good with the gym. Today I was undisciplined with my time.
How about
Um,
Sunday,
I went to the gym.
Saturday?
Went to the gym. But like I'm not consistent on when I go. So I'm not being disciplined with my time because I'm going,
Right.
I'm taking the action, and when I'm there I'm working hard, but it's in an unorganized way. Right? Like you, for example, very structured, very disciplined. Regardless if
Right.
you're in Texas or Miami or here, it's like your gym time is like 3:30 to 4:30, whatever, like arrival time, like right, like or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
But so mine has been kind of like, well, some days it's 6:30, some days it's 8, some days it's 3, which is fine if you've set up your day to accommodate it that way, right?
Right.
Mine is more of a like my discipline, the lack of discipline has been more of a fly by the seat of your pants. Like, right now seems like a good time to go. Like it wasn't planned to go at the other day. I went at like 2:30, but it's not like I had mapped out my day for it to fit in at 2:30.
Right.
It was just like, oh wow,
I didn't go in the morning.
I hadn't organized. I hadn't gone down. Well, now seems like a good time. And then I think that's where causes that lack of consistency in your routine, in your structure. And it causes, lack of discipline, lack of value. I mean, we've seen consistency. How will you bring value as an agent? By being consistent.
So then, how do you fix that?
Bro, I think you got to put on your big boy pants and you just got to rip it off like a Band-Aid, I think. I think you got to start small and you got to understand it's got to take progress over perfection, right?
So that was my post on social media over the weekend, right? Because everybody.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Yeah.
your picture.
So everybody underestimates what you can do in a year. Underestimates, but overestimates what you expect in a month. Right? So I did the picture a month apart at the gym.
There was a difference.
But to me, it's not. I mean, as much as I've been going and the
Right.
times I'm going and the energy I'm putting into it, you could see a difference, but it's not a huge difference. And I'd be like, really? I should be walking around like Dwayne Johnson now. I mean, I've been going every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the tats.
Okay, Maui.
I got I'm getting the tattoo. Like I need to be
Okay.
going just like him.
You
now.
got the hippity hoppity bouncing around. Okay, we got you.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you,
I agree.
You overestimate what you should be in a month, but then you underestimate in a year. Like, where's it going to be in a year? Where, and Amanda was saying this morning, I used a word.
Potty word? Did you use a potty word?
No, I did not use a potty word. She wouldn't be surprised about using potty words. I use them all the time. I said something to her, and we were talking about something, and I said, "Oh, inquisitive." She's like, "Oh, that's a really big word," and I'm like, "Oh, recomposition. That's another big word."
They got it off the toilet paper roll. You got one of those toilet paper rolls
No,
where the
actually,
toilet paper has like the word of the day on it.
No,
Like I inquisitively, now I use it. I think that's what you're doing, dude. I think you got toilet paper keywords. Listen, it's cool. Listen, educate yourself any way you need to, bro.
You're working the way you can. No, but
That's being efficient with your time, multitasking.
Multitasking in the
Yeah.
bathroom, looking up the word of the day, the daily word. That works.
It's inquisitive.
Yep. So, what did you do while I was gone for the week?
That's a good question, man. I gotta figure it out. No, we had a good week. We had a bunch of stuff going on in it. I think that's the beauty of how we've set the team up and stuff is that structure and planning and stuff. So when you were able to go for that week and we had things going on. We had open house that we had to get ready for. We had some showings that we had over the weekend. We had a commercial walkthrough that we had to take care of. And just meeting with the team, the 411s, making sure everybody's staying consistent with their goal, because it is, I think, talking to our agents, I think the thing that we can see in almost everything, and just like the gym, is like we all want to do something one day or 2 days, and if we don't get results, like that didn't work. Right. So it's like you're talking about going to the gym, and I've been, you've motivated me. I've tried to get into the gym, and then I realized, like, man, I think I went Saturday. I got home from the gym, and I was like, Dude, I lifted every weight in that place. Like, I'm the strongest man in the greater Las Vegas area, no doubt. Right? But then I got home and I followed it up. I was like, oh, these Doritos look amazing. And I just got back from the store. I think I had like Doritos and like an ice cream sandwich. You know, it's like, so it's like you can't have one without the other. And you're like, well, why am I not getting results? That's like making our prospecting calls or going on an appointment, then never following up.
Right.
Right? And so talking with our agents, it's like, going through that process of staying consistent. You can't just go to the gym one day, 2 days. You can't just eat healthy 1 day or 2 days. Like you can pick one of them and make that your starting point with going all in on, eating. Okay,
Right.
if you can give 100% to the eating right part, you're going to see some results. So if you can go 100% to the making your contacts, you're going to see some results. When you start, compounding it and doing like, well, now I'm going to the gym and eating right. So now I'm on the phones and I'm putting out content and I'm sitting open houses. Right? Like when we start to do that consistent, we start to see change.
Right.
Rather you just check the box, right? Like
Right.
if you just went to the gym and went into the parking lot, sat there for 10 minutes, debated if you wanted to go in, hit the juice bar, got yourself a smoothie, hit the sauna for 10 minutes, felt like you sweated, and then you jumped out and be like, went to the gym, got it, nailed it, right? Right? Does that really count, right? You're just going to check a box.
So your gym has a juice bar?
Oh, bro. LVAC's
And
got a
some-
gangster smoothie bar.
Yeah, ours doesn't have that.
Well, that's because you guys are weird and crazy and hardcore. You guys like eat metal over there. And
That's all we
chains.
have is metal. We just have metal weights.
And
That's
so-
it. You walk in, you're there to lift it. Like it says, blood, sweat, and tears are okay. Quitting is not. Like that is it.
Well, and I think that's the quitting part, right? Like we started talking to some of the people on the team. It's like we're checking boxes, but we're not seeing progression because we're just checking boxes. We're not doing it with the intent to get stronger, with the intent to lose weight, with
Right.
and having all the pieces working together. And when you don't have it all rowing together and all working together, you're not going to see the results. You can go to the gym and work an hour. You come home and eat like shit. They're going to cross, you're crossing
Right.
out. So if you're looking just to maintain your lifestyle in real estate, your profession in, the whatever other industry, that's fine. You're trading goods and bads. But if you want to get ahead, you got to start to build up that discipline, stay consistent, get into it for the long haul, commit, because like you said, in a month, I'm sure your body feels a little better. I'm sure your clothes fit a little bit better. But are you where you want to be? No. And if that's that point where like we are in this industry with the NAR settlement and things like that, are you going to double down and educate yourself, work harder, be so you can be there for your clients? Or are you going to be like, I'm just checking a box. I work in real estate. I'm just going to, go through the motions and quit.
I think it's all relative, right? So yes, with all the changes that have come in the market now and real estate and the NAR changes, I think if you don't educate yourself, right? If you don't work harder to provide value, if you don't work to make sure that you're explaining this correctly to people and telling people, it's the same thing as going to the gym and not doing anything,
Yeah.
right? Because you have to consistently get better. Like, what are you doing to provide more value? What are you truly doing to help people? What are you doing to set yourself apart from everybody else that's doing the same thing, right? So it's funny because I'm looking at. So our dynamic is a little different on our team because we do Florida as well.
Right.
So we sell here and we sell Florida. And when I was in Texas, I'm on the plane on the way back. We're talking to the gentleman that was sitting next to us, and he's telling me he's looking at investing at 25 acres. And I said, "Oh, really? What are you going to do with 25 acres?" He's like, "I don't know. I just know I can get them for a good deal." And I was like, "Okay. So have you thought about maybe subdividing it and selling it off in portions to a developer, where you can either do a JV or you can just sell it outright, or it depends on what maybe you buy the land cash and you want to finance and you want to use that as collateral to do a JV and then be able to put it in with the developer so that they can start doing it. Find a smaller developer that you can share in some of the proceeds and stuff of the sale of the house." And he's like, "Oh, I never thought about that." And I'm thinking to myself, really? So here's a guy in Texas going to buy 25 acres, wants to make money, but has no idea.
plan.
Has no idea how to do it, and he's a businessman. Like he owns several jujitsu training sites. And he's a world champion, and he trains world champions.
Did you tell him you have a samurai sword?
I did not. I forgot.
I bet you he would have been really intrigued to know that you have a samurai sword.
I bet you he would have.
Okay.
But the point is that he was talking to, like, I'm like, okay, so I can't be the only real estate agent that he's ever spoken to about this.
Right.
And I'm the only one that he actually followed me to the baggage claim for us to pick up our bag. And when we were there, I was like, hey, why are you here? Where's your bag? And he's like, oh, no, I'm just, the conversation is amazing.
He didn't even have a bag?
He didn't have a bag. He just followed me because we were talking about this is the vision I have for your 25 acres and how I can help you turn the 25 acres into now a life-changing income for you. And he's like, I'm willing to walk with you instead of go get my cab and go to the MGM and do what I got to do because I'm here to train other professional athletes that are in a competition. But I'd rather talk to you for an extra 10 minutes to understand that you have a plan and a vision for what I want to do. We exchanged numbers, and he's like, please, after this competition, I'll reach out to you. And I said, okay, I'll reach out to you as well. And now I'm saying, okay, well, maybe we got to expand into Texas now, which was always one of my plans.
Right.
That was always one of the team's vision was to go into Texas. So now we're going to do it, but now there's a mission behind it, right? So I think it's knowing where you want to go, right? And putting it out into the universe. I'm huge into putting stuff out into the world, right? And putting it out into the universe, saying this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And not a lot of people believe me. Like people that don't know me or have not known me for a long time are like, yeah, this guy's insane. This guy just talks a bunch of stuff. He's talking about now he's getting tattoos. He's going to the gym every day. He's talking about being
flying
like
with
Dwayne
the Blue
Johnson.
Angels.
He wants to fly with the Blue Angels. Like he wants to do all these things. And I keep putting it out there because eventually everything's going to happen that I want.
Right.
But I have to work for it. I have to learn. I have to continue to educate myself. I have to be still continue to provide value to clients that are going to help them. You know, somebody told me something, and I have to change my train of thought for a second. But someone told me that if you help people get what they want, in turn, you will get what you want. Someone told me that this week when we were talking. And that's the thing, is if we continue to do what we do as a team and help people to get what they want, we're going to get what we want as a team.
Well, and that's funny because in that story, when you were talking about it and you were saying what the guy had told you,
right?
He literally gave you the piece of the script that we use with everybody, and it follows this whole dynamic. Because with everything that's going on, people are just overcomplicating it. It's our job as agents to educate ourselves so we can educate the clients.
Correct.
Or else you do provide no value, and
Correct.
you shouldn't be hired.
Correct.
You shouldn't be in the industry.
Correct.
But what you said is the guy said, nobody's ever tried to help me like that. Help me.
Right.
Help, in this case, me being him,
right.
Is that I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of the agents that are in the industry, it's not about helping others. It's about them. How do they get paid? How do they not lose any money on this deal? How do they find a way around the system so they still get paid the money that have been getting paid before?
Right.
But it's crazy when you think about it, is that some of these agents provide zero value. You could have an agent that's been doing this for 30 years and they could just be absolutely amazing, top agent. And then you could have somebody that's been in the industry for 2 weeks, newly licensed. They have a cousin that wants to buy a house. They write the offer. And for the most part, relatively similar pay.
Correct.
Right? And that's when you start to wonder why. And now I think if the settlement has done anything, I think it's opened the eyes to the consumer to ask the question of why. Why should I hire you?
Right.
Why should I do this? Because I really don't think it's about the pay moving forward, like talking to consumers.
Right.
But it's just like anything. If you go to a car dealership, right? And why would I pay this money for a Mercedes? Well, for as long as I've known, and my dad, and I know you're a Mercedes fan, it's like, Mercedes has always been tied to excellence, customer service, top end. So why? They provide value, right?
Right.
Where you go to some of this other stuff and you're like, well, why would I pay this for that? Well, It's got four wheels and a steering wheel, you know? So it's like, I think now more than ever, they're going to ask why. We need to be prepared and educated to answer the why. And it's not about the pay, it's about the value. How can we help those people to accomplish their goals? And when you made it about him, that guy probably never asked you, how much do you charge?
No, we never went into
Right?
anything about
Right?
that. Nope.
No, because he already saw the value.
Right.
Right? It's like things like sometimes I'm well, a lot of the time I'm super frugal, right? Right? But it's like, have you ever catch yourself like, I'm not paying $5 for that. That's the dumbest thing ever. I'm not paying $5 for that. But then I'll be like, I'll go to Dick's and I'll be like, $400 for that bat? Yeah. Do you have two? Can I get two? Not right?
The sliding mid.
Yeah, right.
It's only going to be on sale for 1 hour.
Because to me,
Get them while they're hot.
that's the value.
Right.
I've done my research. I know how that's going to help me. I know that. So I think that's the same with consumers. If we provide enough value, they will understand what the value is, and they're not going to blink twice about hiring an agent that does that for them. And that guy, when you bring the new BBA, put it across the desk, like, hey, this is what's going on. We go through our buyer consultation. We talk about all that stuff. Hey, here's the plan. Here's the strategy. This is what we're looking for, the subdivision. I'm going to put you in touch with this guy too. We're going to get him involved. I'm going to get everybody on a big old conference call so we can kind of lay out the vision here. The music mic, great. Anyways, oh yeah, you needed this piece of paper. Here you go, bye. Right? Because you've made it about them. And that's ultimately what the consumer wants. They want value and they want it to be about them. They don't want to feel like it's us trying to push something on them and then getting paid to push our opinions on them.
Well, it's one of the things that I was thinking of when I was in Texas, right? Was when Uber started. Do you remember the uproar in Vegas for the taxis?
Oh, they were not having it. They weren't going to let them into like airports and hotels.
Because they were disruptors,
Yes.
right? They came in and said, "Hey, no more trying to figure out what you're going to get charged."
Because taxis were getting the free ride.
Because taxis were charging by the mile, by the time. Like you were just getting charged 100,000 different ways from the taxi.
And we know on the strip to go half a mile, it could take 15 minutes.
Exactly. So you were getting your meter's just going no matter
Right.
what, right? So now you have this company that says, hold on. If it takes from point A to point B, it's going to take X amount of time on average. We're going to charge you $25. Flat fee is $25 no matter what you want. So when I went to Texas, we went to this same event 2 years ago. Or no, 2 years ago. 2021, 22, something like that. 22, I think, is when we went. And we rented a car. So we had a car. We paid for the car rental. We paid for parking because you have to pay for parking in the hotel because you're limited space.
Gas.
And then, well, we didn't know. We didn't need gas because we didn't end up using the car. Because no matter where we went in downtown, there was no parking.
Yeah.
So you had to pay for parking. So we're like, you know what? Might as well just keep it in the hotel.
Right.
And we'll Uber everywhere. So we did that. So this time when we went, we're like, okay, we're not going to get bit by the same thing again. I'm not going to pay $300 for a car rental and $250 for parking and pay $600 for a car to just sit there.
Right.
So we were in Austin, and then we were there an extra day. So we're like, oh, you know what? Let's go to San Antonio. San Antonio is about an hour and a half away. We look on the app. Uber was on the way there was $83. We're like, perfect. Picks us up at our hotel.
You guys took an Uber to San Antonio?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What?
It was $83. So it was like, all right, perfect. So there's a purpose behind this. So I get there, right? $83. We go, we see the Alamo, we do the Riverwalk, we have lunch. I look on my phone, and all of a sudden I get hit twice for that charge. So I'm like, okay, hold on. It isn't that affordable if I'm paying $160 for the trip.
One way.
One way. So I look back on the app and I'm like, oh, so I start complaining. I'm like, hey, why am I being charged twice? It was $83. I paid the $83 gladly, but now I just got hit. One charge was at 10 o'clock in the morning. The other charge was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Why did I get charged? They're like, well, we apologize, but the driver said there was 4 people in the car. And I'm like, that's funny because I'm on vacation. There's only 2 of us on vacation, so I don't know how 4 people are going to be in the car. But there was not 4 people. It was only 2 of us, blah, blah, blah. And instantaneously, they just credited it back. They said, you know what? You're a valued customer. We're not going to fight with you about this. We'll just credit you back. And then we Ubered back, and Ubering back was only $100 because now it was a little bit later in traffic and stuff like that. But yeah, so it saved me money to do it that way. But the point is they're disruptors, and they're like, hey, we're going to fix this. We're not going to just do this. And I think to the point of what we're going through right now in our industry, this is a disruptor, right? This is something that's going to cause a lot of people to not know what to do. And I think the people that educate themselves and embrace the change and say, this is what we're doing now, and just continue to provide value, continue to educate themselves, figure out a solution for the client's problems. That's another thing I heard for the week I was there. Find a solution for a problem.
Yeah.
Don't just, hey, I said I'll go open a door for you and let you walk around the house, and then I want to get paid. Like, what is the solution? What is the reason you're buying a house? Let me sit down, talk to you, have a consultation. And I think that's where our industry was lacking in the past is a lot of people never had, everybody had a listing consultation, right? And everybody had a listing presentation. And everybody would go and say, hey, if you pick me to list your house, this is what I'm going to do for you. But as a buyer, we've always done it. We've always had buyer consultations in the office, and we sit down and we have a lender
strategy
here.
Sessions.
And, right. And we're like, hey, if you're not ready to buy today for whatever reason, whether it's credit, whether it's your down payment, whatever it is, let us strategize to put you in a position to buy in the future. So we've always done that, but now it's forcing people who have never done this to now all of a sudden be like, oh my God, what am I going to do now?
Right.
Now I have to talk to somebody. I have to actually talk to somebody ahead of time. I have to have them sign a document. I have to have them agree for me to work with them. Like, oh my God.
Well, and so to finish off, I think this is brilliant because I think the Uber / taxi debate and controversy, and you know, they're both flourishing still, right? They still do their own thing, right? And it's just like agents, right? There's still going to be agents that do things certain ways and different ways, and they both have, all agents have an opportunity to flourish here. But I think this is similar in the fact is that with getting in a taxi before, you never really knew what your final price was going to be.
Correct.
Okay? You knew you needed, it's like buying a house or getting to San Antonio, right? You knew you had to get there.
Right.
You knew you were going to buy a house. But that whole lack of transparency, if you would have taken a taxi and the taxi's like, listen, here's the deal. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how much it's going to take us to get there. I don't know what the traffic's going to be like. I'll tell you it's going to be a minimum of $75. That's what I can tell you.
Right.
But I don't really know what it's going to actually like. But like, hey man, hop in.
Right.
You'd be like,
yeah.
Hold on a second. We need a, right?
Right.
Now with Uber, you come in and Uber's like, hey, listen, you're going to San Antonio. You realize that's an hour and a half away, right? Yep, totally. Got to get there, want to get there. Don't have a car. Obviously, I need some help here. Great. We've run some numbers. Here you go. It's going to be $85. Great. Pick me up at what time?
That's
right?
It.
If the taxi now says, taxi could be cheaper.
Could be.
But we don't know.
Right.
And so it goes back to, it's not so much the price of things, like a new bat, a new car, a restaurant. You know, of course, some of it is, I get it. Stay within your means, live within your means. I get it. But all things being equal, is that I don't think we necessarily, it's the lack of the unknown that freaks us out. This steak is, you go to a steakhouse, hey, this filet is $50, right? Or
why do you say it with that face? Like $50 for
$50 for a steak.
You don't go to steakhouse.
I don't go to steakhouse very often. Right? I put them on my own barbecue. I get it from Costco, baby. Costco's got a mean steak, right? Or you ever see that one that's like this steak or this market value? I'm out. If it says market value, I'm out. I don't like the unknown. Okay? Like, when it says market value, I don't trust you guys.
Who's
market? Where did you get this lobster tail? Like, is it a freak of a lobster tail? Like, is it like... But that's the thing. If you were to put on there, and I get it, I'm not shaming the restaurant. Like, right. It doesn't matter. It's just in general. It could be real estate, right? It could be cars. It could be insurance. It could be lawyers. Like, your lawyer. Hey, you could... lawyer $50 or market value, like right, like this could get pricey back. I need a result,
right?
But if they put on there, hey, this steak is $50, this one's $150. But listen, let me explain the value of the A1 10.5 Wagyu Japanese koshi beef steak that you're about to eat right here, okay? Right? And then this one I got over here at XYZ supermarket, right? Like, well, I kind of want that baby. I know it's $150, but it's an A57906 Kobe Japanese beef here. Guy cut it with a samurai sword and laid a stick of butter on it. This thing gonna be good.
Right.
$150, sign me up. Right? So again, it's how you present the value, how you explain it, and it's not so much the price tag, it's knowing what you get at that price tag. And being now transparent with, and now this settlement forcing other agents that were not being transparent to be transparent. Like, I don't like this. That's because you weren't transparent. You're full of crap and you bring no value.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We some A1 Kobe beef Japanese muscle over here, right? Like we bring some value.
Well,
right?
Did you know that actual Wagyu
I know nothing about it.
It has a certificate.
See?
So if somebody says they're selling you Wagyu, you can say, "Can I please see the certificate on that?" And they have to have a certificate for that piece of steak.
All I know is I saw some reel over the weekend where there was this dude at the steakhouse. I've seen him before, man. He's cutting that stuff with a 10-foot samurai sword, and it looks good.
Did he throw?
No, there was no salt bay. There was no salt bay. It was
a salt bay guy.
And he pulls out like an 1.5-inch thick steak like out of this thing and showing you like all the marbling and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh,
That's a good steak.
That is good. I might pay $150 for that steak, right? But you know the value. It's been laid out. It's been presented to you. And again, I'm like, okay, I will pay for that because I know what I'm getting. I see the value in that. And so when agents come in and they have no value, they're like, hey, yeah, meet me at the 123 Main Street. I'll pop the lock off, open the door, and flip on some lights for you. Tell me if you want to make an offer.
Right.
Well, that's not a lot of value. There's no strategy session. You haven't sat down and built a plan for them. How do they make this experience one that's going to, be unforgettable, and then get them into a house that they really want to, or encourage, like, listen, this is not like we went here. Now that we've seen it, maybe we got a little deceived with the pictures, and now we've done some negotiations. The numbers. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not part of the strategy plan we laid out. If we want to proceed, we can. But like knowing when to be honest with your clients, like, listen, this fell out of our range of where we laid down the strategy plan.
Right.
If you want this to be considered, let's just sit down first, take a minute, slow down, and let's put it back in our strategy plan, and let's make sure it works and not just jump to some random conclusion because some agent is a quantity versus quality style operator.
So what's the word for the week? I think we should, now that we went on the
Wagyu,
word.
baby.
No.
I think I'm going to use Wagyu at least 7 times today.
Well, you can use that word, but the word for the week.
Wagyu?
Consistency.
It's either that or discipline.
How about both?
Be consistently disciplined.
There you go.
Be disciplined in your consistency.
There you go.
Tomato. Salt bay.
Have a good one, dude.